Mm. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning on this wonderful morning. It is January 13th, 2026 at 9:30 a.m. My name is Patience. I'm your favorite spirit medium, host of Spirit News on all major platforms, a podcast where we teach you about non-physical energy with our very own spirit team, the Guild of the Golden Triangle. Truly blessed, highly flavored, highly flavored, highly favored. And I have the best sugar-free chai right here. It's delicious. I love chai, so I'm so grateful for chai. Thank you to my spirit team. Hello, good morning. We're doing a random read today. Well, it's not random, but I mean, we usually post every weekend for you guys. We do every Saturday and Sunday, but I've been wanting to attempt to do an energy experiment to use the way we talk to other crossed over loved ones to talk to my grandmother. There's some apprehension. There's definitely someone who doesn't want me to talk to her. And I am definitely newer to my spiritual abilities. I have childhood psychic gifts, which all of us have, and they eventually get turned off or we get desensitized to them. Hey, nobody. Hey, good morning. Hello. Good to see you. So happy you're here. Thanks for being here. We get desensitized to them, and then we don't have an environment that nurtures the potential for development of them and the use of them. You know, that part of ourselves has been atrophied or has been made to believe that doing those things or developing your spiritual gifts is actually blasphemous. So I'm here as a living testament that you can have abilities and be in alignment. And so we're trying to dispel and understand and learn the rules, the universal laws, and how they apply to us as humans or our human experience. Because we're still, first and foremost, non-physical energy having a human experience. And so the universal laws do still apply to us, but because we're not taught them, we often accidentally or naively or ignorantly break universal law and universal lawyer. I love that, Jessica. I love that, Jessica. That's awesome. Bonjour. Hello. Good morning. And so we're learning as we go by asking the questions. And I absolutely love coming on here and doing it with you guys as an energy experiment for curiosity to understand. We did a reading recently with Bon Scott from AC/DC, and Spirit pointed us to an Aristotle philosophical theory about how to maintain happiness or alignment. And Aristotle said that his observations noticed that by understanding and studying the ways to be in your divine right, to be your divine essence, your pure spark, to match that energy, confirmation is how you find happiness. So we're trying to do an energy experiment to talk to my grandmother, because all of that to say that I'm learning the laws of the astral realm, the laws of the universe, the laws of earth, and how they all kind of come together. And there are, I am learning recently more about earthbound spirits, and there's been necromancer. Yeah, I'm not a necromancer because I don't ask the the loved ones to do bidding for me. I just want to converse with them. I want to have a relationship with them. But some of them are earthbound, and I had no idea. A lot of the crossed over loved ones I talk to, I just assume that, Spirit brought them in and allowed me to talk. Not all of them want to talk. And sometimes I don't choose who talks. And sometimes if I sit down for a session with somebody, I can't guarantee that they'll be ready to talk. So then it got me on this quest of, well, how do I know, and what prevents them from wanting to talk? Like, what does that look like? What are those things that prevent a soul from talking? And the most common blockage to connect with anyone who's crossed over is if they're earthbound, and if they're still. Oh, Spirit just said Lucille. I've been getting a lot of downloads for Lucille Ball, so I'm just going to write that down so I don't forget. Am I allowed to talk to them? How can they allow themselves to talk to me? Because the one thing that blocks them from us connecting is their...
He wants to talk.
he wants to talk. Is their unfinished business. Sometimes a soul is not, especially a soul that's earthbound, is not ready to let go of the cycle that they have contained themselves in on the earth realm. And that's what keeps them earthbound and not able to let go, to go home, is if they have unfinished business, if they have unresolved emotional issues, if they have a lot of karmic debt that they can't release themselves from or can't accept about themselves or aren't ready to accept. So those are just some things that I'm recognizing. And when it comes to my own grandmother, her name's Sarah. Oh, grandma. Some of the things... Curse, yeah, curse. Some of the things I noticed when trying to connect with her is I don't see her a lot, but I do feel her presence. So it was a weird observation of acknowledging her presence and her help. She definitely helps me and speaks to me, but she never feels the way that crossed over loved ones who've gone home feel like. And I do have a couple of crossed over loved ones that are actually home, and I see them more visually in my mind, and they have a certain energy signature that I can pick up on. But when it comes to my grandmother, it's not always, thank you, spiritual creativity. Yeah, it's not always consistent. But there was one specific time where I heard my grandmother's voice, and she's a little Japanese woman. Her Japanese name is Satoe Miyata, but we would call her Sarah. And I love her so much. Ooh, she used to live with us, but one experience I had that was one of the ways she contacted me was when my mother was sick. And my mother, when she used to stay with us, she was getting sicker, but she didn't want to go to the hospital. Oh, your grandmother used to come through in your dreams? Yeah, a lot of crossed over loved ones do come in my dreams, except for her. And that's what kind of started me on this quest, this experiment, is why. Why do some come and some don't? And oh, I'm touching your hand. Is it me? Is it them? Is it both? Like, what are the components of that? So, but I know that she helps me all the time. And I know that something happened to her, and none of my family want to tell me the truth about what happened to her. And she used to live with us, and I was very close to her, and she taught me a lot, and she was a devout Buddhist, and she'd pray every day, the Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. She would do it so loud and consistently that it would literally just sound like a That's how in tune she was, and she was very good to me. And ooh, if it wasn't for her, there was a lot of if it wasn't for her, I just say that. She's my little angel, but my mother was sick and she was staying with us, and my mother didn't want to go to the hospital because she's someone who's scared. She was scared of going to the doctor. I think she was scared of something being wrong with her. But I was like, Ma, you gotta go. I could tell that, she was lethargic, and she was just, I could tell, I could feel something was off and that she needed to go, but she didn't want to go. And one night I had got into this weird argument with my husband that was we don't argue a lot, especially this intensely. This was a while ago. This was like maybe 3 years ago. And it was at the 3 or 4 years ago. And it was at the very beginning of my spiritual development, where I was just learning how to intentionally connect with spirit. And we had gotten into this weird intense fight that I can't even tell you what it was about. And so I was like, I'm just going to separate myself and go downstairs. I'll sleep downstairs tonight. And I was like in between sleep, and my grandmother had a very strong Japanese accent. So she would say my mother's name in a very specific way, and a lot of things that I'll never forget the way she said it with her accent. And my mother's name is Mary, and she would say Maddie. And I was in and out of sleep. I was like on the verge of sleeping, and I heard right in my ear, in the right hand side of my ear, Maddie. And I knew right then and there was my grandmother. And I knew right then and there she was amazed. She was trying to tell me that she needed to go to the hospital. So long story short, we forced Mom to go to the urgent care, and she got her blood taken and stuff, and then she came home, and then a police officer had to come because my mother never answers the phone. They were trying to call her and she wasn't answering the phone. A police officer had to come and do a wellness check to make sure she was alive, and to tell her, if she's still alive, that she needs to go to the hospital right away for a blood transfusion, because she had anemia and her blood cell count, or whatever that is, was so low that she could have been dead at any minute. And that was within a 2-day period. So I definitely have some unresolved emotions about my grandmother. The way that we had to be separated from her made me feel like I didn't get to finish my journey with her. And then in her elderly years, I wasn't able to be in contact with her. And I really feel like I should have been there for her, And so I really just want to contact her. I haven't gotten really substantial or confirming story of what happened to her, how she died, who she stayed with. There was this situation that gave me bad vibes with an uncle and a cousin, and so I just want to get down to the bottom of it. So this phone right here, this is my phone. Don't pay them no damn attention. This is me. Ivan Thompson. I don't know what that means, Ivan. So, hey Harry, thanks for being here. So I just want to use this opportunity to not only to develop my spiritual gifts, but to see if we can use it for closure or for understanding, or to get a higher perspective of a linear view for things we don't understand, or things that we couldn't see in the moment, and to maybe even help release her from being earthbound if there's unfinished business that she wants to reveal but doesn't have the energy capacity to do that because she herself is stuck in some kind of loop. Then I want to be able to help with that. So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to come out. There might not be anything about my grandmother, and it might be just for somebody who's here that needs a message, okay? So I can feel the love between you and your grandmother. Oh, thanks, Maria. Thank you. Oh, thanks, Harry. Jordan Houston. No good. It's not true. I don't know what's not true. Oh, whoops. I don't know what you said that's not true, but thanks for being here. So again, this I'm with you guys in learning, and we can do this together and just kind of see how it unfolds. Allow spirit to reveal what needs to heal and what I didn't say at the top, and hopefully just allow my grandmother or whoever it's the energy we're going to read to just unfold naturally so we can help heal whatever needs to be healed. Okay. So I'm gonna try these new cards I got. They're based off of Slavic folklore, so they're super cute. I like the drawings. They're like these little tiny cards, and I like learning about other cultures. We're so in our little bubbles that sometimes we're just so cut off from other people's way of doing things. So I like having a little bit of culture revealed. Oh, damn. The letter, message, communication, news. I can't make it up. Spirit news. I was going to stick this to my head. Spirit news. There's also a letter on this grave. Connections. She says there's a connection to that. I also see a Spartan helmet, which Spartans kind of make me think about like war or like battle or just some kind of, maybe prideful, egoic attack of some kind or conflict. Okay. Butterflies and birds represent the spirit world. I also see a skull, so I do feel like I am correct when I say she's earthbound. I do feel like that is correct. There's a letter on the gravestone, which it could be a communication, a letter, perhaps a will or a testament, or maybe just an actual letter, to be given out to loved ones at the time of passing or something like that. Something that was left. It is on a gravestone, so kind of, and it's like on a fancy parchment paper, so kind of makes me feel like a last will and testament. But I don't know. Like I said, whatever was left in her will and testament, I don't know anything about it. It wasn't anything that was discussed with me, and I never. Thank you for visiting. I never asked about that. I just asked how she died and where she was when she died, and I got some pretty weird answers that I didn't like, that I don't want to really share, but they weren't pretty. And if that's true, Spirit did say depravity, so we'll see. Oh, the bird. Looks like a phoenix. Looks like a peacock. Actually, like a red peacock. It has a crown on it. So matriarch, someone of honor, someone with spiritual authority. On an apple tree, someone who's very abundant. Yeah, don't ask questions you don't want the answers to. Yeah, absolutely. What if what I was told was true, that happened to her in her elderly years, in her 90s, it would have been very upsetting. It was upsetting. I just don't know how it ended. Peacocks, prideful, perhaps. Yeah, there could. The wings are out. It gives me royalty vibes. It gives me, you know what? It gives me Empress vibes. The Empress. My grandmother was. She was a pure heart. She was a pure heart. She really was. Ooh, Grandma, I love ya. So her will could have her will could have, or whatever this letter or communication is, could have been fruitful. It could have had some type of abundance attached to it. It could have, the letter could have been emotionally abundant. There's also a sun setting on here. So she could have made a change at the end, something that changed at the end towards the setting of the sun. Good evening, as Spirit says. Use your card to give me some tips on how to win the lottery. Well, you'll never win the lottery if you never play. That's what my sister's dad used to always say. Kingy, you can't win the lottery if you don't play. The tower. I have a tower here. Authority, boundaries, solitude. Yeah, she was alone when she passed. There wasn't a lot of people around her. That was the tower for her, that in the end, she was isolated. Someone isolated her in the end. Didn't want her to be around anybody. She had a tower in her ending days that took her authority away, even though she was the one who had all the authority. Would you rather lose all of your past memories or never be able to make new ones?
We're moving around.
Lose all my past ones. Because I don't want to be stuck in the past and not be able to make new ones. Is my ex Luke going to try to come back? I don't know. I'm not that kind of psychic.
Demonstrate.
So, something about being put in solitude, being put in isolation, away from everyone. The ship, travel, adventure, journey, yeah. Someone didn't want her to travel anywhere or go somewhere or go away from them. They exerted, I also have anxiety here, chatter, anxiety, authority. They had some kind of authority over her or isolated her so she wouldn't go somewhere. Grandma, why didn't they want you to go anywhere? Why did they isolate you? You want me to change cards? I'll do it one more time. Okay, I'll change cards. Why did they want to isolate you? They were very assertive. It was very unexpected, and they were very assertive. They may have pretended like they cared about her. Kind of like, oh, I want you to stay with me because you'll be safer here. She thought that she was... Don't rush off. And she thought she was going to be taken care of. It was something that happened quickly, so she didn't have a lot of time to embrace it. But they seemed, whoever was asserting themselves about taking care of her, she thought that they were being genuine at the time. Tell me more about that. There's something that they were driven by, some kind of strong desire to achieve a certain goal by doing this, by quickly and unexpectedly asserting themselves to take care of her. There's some kind of creation or movement. But it was trickery, deception. It was a trick. Whoever this person was that claimed that they were going to take care of her never planned on taking care of her. It was a trick. It was just to get her to embrace them bringing her into isolation. Her agreeing to it. I wonder if they kept her to control loyalists to only
Apparition.
themselves. If you keep the door open a crack, all rats come in, yeah. Maybe the letter on her grave was her spirit contract. She accomplished it. Maybe. Maybe. God bless the dinosaur that died to make the fossil fuel that was treated to become petrol and the car that took your mama to hospital to give birth to you. Amen to that. Yeah. All comes full circle, don't it? Miser. Stubbornness, inflexibility. Yeah, someone who had a plan to have it their way, a miser, someone who is chasing some type of abundance. They only invited
The
her
living.
they only invited her to take care of her because they wanted something from her. They were deceptive. And this looks like a pear in the hand, but it's a skeleton hand. Because my grandmother's abundant. She's an empress. She has some kind of abundance. She has spiritual authority, spiritual royalty. Okay? She in the spirit realm, she's royalty because of how much she would pray every day and that she was a good person and she didn't hurt people on purpose. Okay? She had spiritual authority. Maybe the letter is a message from grave to
I
whom the
am Ambrose.
materialistic person, perhaps. Yeah, I don't know if it's metaphorical or literal. I think it could be both, honestly. I think it could be both. So the miser was definitely tricking my grandmother into believing that they wanted to take care of her, but that was not true. Puppeteer. A puppeteer. Tradition. Oh, you know what? In my grandmother's tradition, Japanese tradition, is the grandparents live with you when they're elderly, live with the children. Well, if they weren't living with me and my mother like she was, and she wasn't living with her husband because he passed away, what other sibling could she have been living with? I know exactly who she was living with. Puppeteer explanations. Oh, she's fine. Yeah, she's healthy and she's thriving. Just like we thought, but it wasn't true. Whatever sibling tricked her into believing that they
Inferno.
gave a shit about her, only cared about the money. Both, yeah. Catalyst. Taking control. And look, there's a letter and some kind of weird bottle there. There's a letter, 2-page letter. And this weird, and look, it says poison. Look, this bottle says poison, the catalyst.
Anxiety.
I don't even know how she died. Nobody will tell me how she died. When she died, where she died. But the last story I heard of her was that she was immobile, she couldn't move, and that she was bedridden, and that nobody would wash her or clean up after her, and she was made to lay in her own filth while they take her social security checks. So, poisoning her, I don't know if that's literal or metaphorical, just by not taking care of her. It may have been like a slow decline. It may have been something that happened slowly over time, because this person wanted to keep her immobile. Look at this person, unable to move, stuck. So that way she couldn't protest every time a check came in, and they're taking it
Silence.
and putting it in their own bank account while she sits unable to move or clean herself. Make me sick. The chiromancer, delivering news, collaboration. Working with other family members, collect. Thank you. Working with other family members to collect. Lack of empathy, confrontation, the brawler.
Movement.
Working with other family members to collect her checks.
Children here.
Possibly cousins. Spirit just said children. Possibly cousins, so children of whatever. Children of my grandmother's children. Cousins. Oh, thank you guys. Thank you. This person's hand is being wrapped up. And these flowers have thorns all over them. Yeah. Lack of empathy. Didn't I just say? Just interested in taking her checks, not interested in taking care of her and having the last years of her life be simple and easy. That's horrible. The alchemist. Balance, invention, destruction. There's another bottle here with some weird. It says evolve et coagula.
Farm.
Farm. Spirit said farm. I didn't know what to expect, but this is horrible. They may have been putting something in her food or rewriting. There's a quill here. Rewriting something. There's a feather quill over. There's 2 pieces of paper here, so possibly rewriting her will for it to be different in whatever way that it is. Invention, something they invented to destroy something that was already created. Okay, they were collaborating in this way to reinvent her own will, to deconstruct it and then invent it in the way that they would see fit for them. Horrible. Use the cards to help people before this happens. Easy to predict the past. I'm sorry your family experienced this. It's not surprising, unfortunately. It's about the money grab, yeah. Probably claiming dementia to take authority over her. Possibly. The warrior, perfectionism, burnout. There's some kind of collaboration here, but there's something that's child. Spirit said child. I have enchanter, alchemist, puppeteer, miser, brawler, chiromancer. What's a chiromancer? Let me just look that up real quick. So I'm not really sure I know what that is. It's CHIRO. Chiromancer. Something about palmistry and hands. There's a lot of references to hands. There's a lot of references to hands. Chiromancer. A person who is supposedly able to predict a person's future by interpreting the lines on the palms
Predict.
of their hands. And Spirit just said predict. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 hand references. And Spirit just said predict when I read to predict a person's future. Morin was told by a chiromancer of that the following month would be fatal to him.
My name is Francis.
My name is Francis. Spirit, are you saying that this keep going? I will keep going, but I wonder if Grandma's saying that this miser, this this person, this enchanter of deception that tried to alchemize something to go their way, I wonder if they used divination to explain or create or to know that they should do this or something. There's something about some kind of burnout. Spirit says keep going, so I'm just going to keep going up. I just wanted to say that for the data in case it comes out later. Whoever was taking care of her had strong pull on everything and people. Absolutely. Yes, I think you're right about that because of the chiromancer. Something about collaboration and taking control to create a radical change. And I have 2 references to some kind of potion or poison. This bottle says poison, and then the other bottle is just like a potion bottle. So I don't know if that's metaphorical or emotional or literal, but it definitely is something that was a poison to this situation. And the stubbornness and inflexibility of this miser to have it go this specific way to fit nanny. Spirit said nanny. Yeah. This caretaker was supposed to look after her, was supposed to be a caring caretaker, and they were not. Okay, they lied. They tricked my poor, naive grandmother thinking, oh, my child wants to take care of me. That's absolutely horrible. Let's do an imagine if. I'm very curious of my girlfriend being so honest. I swear pendulum and just start saying names, you will get a yes. I know, but I don't... Only because it's on a public platform, I don't want to say the names of the, my family members, because it could also, since it's a fractal universe, whatever I'm getting, if it doesn't apply to my family members, which there is a possibility of that, I don't want to, put it out there. So I'm just trying to be responsible with the energy and not try to place it, because of the fractal universe, it could also apply to other people's stories. So I'll definitely do that in private for sure. I'll try doing that. I haven't done that before, so I definitely accept the guidance. All right, I rolled a 6. I mean, honestly, I already know who it is. I already know who it is, really. So, y'all.
My name is Anna.
My name is Anna. Oh my gosh. Spirit just said my name is Anna. Number 6 is imagine if blank were a comic strip character, who would he or she be? Andy Cap. Andy almost sounds like Anna. Andy Cap. Who's Andy Cap? Let me see. Is that those chips? Andy Cap? Yeah, those chips. Andy Cap's cheddar fries. Andy and wife, Flo, epitomize functional dysfunction in British humor. The comic strip features marriage, pub life, and working class comedy at its
You're already
finest.
cursed.
It could have to do with a marriage, a couple.
Watch it.
Ooh, touching something. Andy Cap is a British comic strip created by cartoonist Reg Smythe. So something about a couple, or perhaps someone, or two people, two main people. All right, I'm not really sure. Maybe someone British? I don't know. So it was made in Britain, so let's continue. I'm not
Take
really
a
sure.
seat.
Yeah, hot fries. I love hot fries. All right, I got a 10, so I'll do 2 5s. Grandma, tell me more. Imagine if Grandma could have one of the following features. Which would she choose? Mick Jagger's lips. Mick Jagger's lips. Someone with full lips. Someone with full lips. Somebody who wears
You're too
caps.
much for me.
Somebody who Imagine if they could have dinner with an Olympic champion. Which would they choose? Greg Louganis. Greg Louganis. I don't know who that is. Let me look it up. Perhaps somebody named Greg. Oh, sorry. Shoot. Wait a second.
Blinker.
Greg Louganis. What? Oh my gosh. Spirit said wanker. And Andy Cap is a British comic strip. And wanker is a British slang term. So it could have something to do with someone who's who's British? I was gonna say who's Britain. Greg Louganis. There we go. Greg Louganis, American springboard diver. "65 years old. January 29th, 1960. Perhaps somebody born in 1960s. Somebody who could be 65. Their spouse is also male, so maybe somebody
13.
who likes the same sex. Somebody born in 1984, 1988, and 1960.
Abundance.
What happened after Greg Louganis hit his head, causing a concussion and a bleeding scalp? My grandmother could have possibly got her head hit. Oh, and someone in a secret HIV diagnosis? Interesting. During the 1988 Seoul Olympics, diver Greg Louganis hit his head on a springboard. Confirmation. My grandmother could have possibly hit her head or had some kind of injury, because I also have these bandages happening.
Meat.
Causing a concussion and bleeding scalp, but he received stitches, completed the competition, and later won gold medals in both the springboard and platform events, overcoming the injury and the stigma surrounding his then secret HIV diagnosis. So somebody could secretly have HIV, or someone who's involved in this situation. Could be same sex, could have had a head injury, or my grandmother could have had a head injury. Something about an injury. Tell me more about this injury. Um, Tell me more about this injury. We'll do the like you cards.
I left the footprints.
There is a study about men that talk about their parts. Why don't you go look for it, Ace? Hey, Lake Superior. Hey. I left footprints. Grandma says she left footprints. She left some clues. Tell me, Grandma, what is this about? What's your favorite Disney movie? What's your favorite Disney movie? What do you think happens to our souls when we die? Have you ever had a loved one ever pass away?
Go further.
Go further. What book has influenced you the most? After finishing cereal, do you drink the milk? What angers you the most about people in the world right now? My favorite Disney movie is Moana, because Moana is a medium and she speaks to her ancestors.
Attachment.
What do you think happens to our souls when we die? My grandmother is talking to me as my ancestor. I am Moana. Has anyone you loved ever passed away? Yes. What book has influenced you the most? The Bible. After finishing cereal, do you drink the milk? I have a poison bottle here. There's something about them poisoning her food. What angers you most about people in the world right now? That they're so money hungry that they would hurt people. Let me change cards. So are you saying, oh, you know what? Let me do this. Grandma, are you saying that you passed away from, I don't know how to put that. Are you saying that someone helped with your death? Yes. Did you not pass peacefully like they said you did? Yes. Be wary of her. Was there someone responsible for your death? Yes. Was it someone related to you? Yes. Did you have spiritual abilities? Yes. Is that why I have spiritual abilities? Yes.
Robinson.
Were you being poisoned? Yes. Did someone claim that they were going to take care of you but lied? Yes. Is it somebody who claims to be religious? Yes. Were they putting poison in your food? Yes. Did you trust this person to take care of you? Was it more than one person? Did something happen to you that what involved foul play? Yes. Money is the root of all evil. Tell me about this letter or message. The ocean. How deep is the ocean? 12,000 feet. If they had known that, maybe they would have written that stupid song. If they had known that, maybe they wouldn't have written that stupid song on top of what's your favorite Disney movie. There's something that they didn't know. There's something that they didn't know about my grandmother, and it's on your favorite Disney movie, which mine is Moana. Moana was a medium. They didn't know that grandma was a medium. Or they didn't know I was a medium. She says, "Look who's talking." They didn't know that we were mediums. You know, it's so funny because my whole life I've tried to hide this, and my whole life my family has told me that I am demonic and being psychic is demonic, and they've claimed to be these spiritual people, and yet at the same time I felt like I couldn't tell anybody because of that. And here we are today. And the whole reason why Spirit never had me tell anyone, or why I felt the notion to not tell anyone, is because it protected me. If they had known this the whole time, then they wouldn't have taken whatever action they took. Misery. How deep is the ocean? 12,000 feet. If they had known that, maybe they wouldn't have written that stupid song. And we know that they rewrote something to change the narrative about what it was my grandmother wanted for her will. So there's something about that. The Great Chicago Fire. Glad you're talking about it. Oh, thank you. Thank you guys so much for supporting me.
There's two of us.
You guys are there's two of us. Didn't I just say there's two? There's two that are responsible for this. You guys have shown me more support on my platform than my whole family has ever given me.
My name is James.
James. My name is James, Spirit just said. James. My grandmother's husband is named James. And one of their children is named James. So my grandfather's here as well. The Great Chicago Fire, the noteworthy fire of 1871, a hot time in the old town, a fire. And it says noteworthy. Noteworthy. Right, Lake Superior? Noteworthy. There's something again about written, noteworthy, something that's burning someone out, something that they wouldn't have written if they had known that grandma had spiritual abilities. If they had known that we had spiritual abilities, they would have never maybe fire burned proofs. Or maybe they're trying to burn the proof or the evidence of something. Yeah, maybe they're trying to burn bridges. Or the Great Chicago Fire. The Great Chicago Fire. Toys. They're not just for kids anymore.
Confidence.
Confidence. Yeah, there's something that they were confident about because something they were playing with. Fire could be metaphorical, like a spiritual fire or a shit fire or like a shit storm. They could have tried to burn the original will so there was no proof of it. They could have tried to get rid of it. But there's something that they don't know about. There's like a copy of it somewhere.
You're my favorite nightmare.
You're my favorite nightmare. Grandma just said I'm her favorite nightmare because the fact that I'm a psychic medium and that I could talk to my grandmother is a nightmare for whatever took place here. Designed and built by French engineer the Eiffel Tower, Alexander Gustave Eiffel, for the Paris World's Fair of 1889. And didn't Chicago have a World Fair as well? Isn't the Eiffel Tower fireproof? Probably an old book or coat pocket or jewelry box. Well, Spirit did say the book. I wasn't a believer. Whoever calculated this theft, this trickery, this deception against my grandmother never believed in psychic abilities before. You know, I just have to say thank you to God. So amazing. You know, you think like before this moment where I just realized the whole reason I hid my spiritual gifts was to protect myself from this situation. It's all like full circle now. It all feels like full circle right now. Something about being fireproof. You know, you may have burned the evidence, but, you know, I'm proof that what you did is not going to be unseen, you know? It's not going to be unseen. And that
I was wealthy.
And that the development of my spiritual gifts to be able to read this energy is a way that the way that God needed it to happen for whoever it is that's involved, for them to have an understanding of what evolved from this situation. There's like some kind of full circle moment right now. Something really old holding original. Wait, 1800s in both things? Yeah, Spirit said, Emma, I was wealthy. They did say 1800s, but I just can't see it right now because there's too many words on the screen. The KKK. Oh, I was thinking that. Damn it. I should have just said it. I had a thought of the Eiffel Tower and the World's Fair and how Chicago had a World Fair and Paris had a World Fair. And it reminded me of like a meeting, and Spirit said meet, and it kind of reminded me of like an order. You know, like having a gathering of a certain type of person um, like an order. And this says KKK. If they're supposed to be the master race, why do they keep misspelling clan? Yeah, so this family member could be part of some kind of order. It doesn't have to be the KKK, but it could be, Spirit said feel. So it could be an order that is very biased, is very strict about who they let in, is very, has a certain expectation of their members or certain beliefs. That could possibly be discriminatory. There may be a bank vault she had stashed original info, but takes 2 people to open it. Maybe Bank Chicago. Oh, that's a really good angle. That's a good angle, Holly. Yeah, absolutely. That could definitely be an angle for sure. A hot time in the old town. In the old town. Maybe the old town she lived in? Maybe she opened up a bank? I just don't know what the old town she lived in. I know she used to live in Hawaii. And she had a house in Hawaii. And I know she had a house in Colorado. Old mine. Old town. Something about where her house was. She may have had a house or something in the place she used to live. So, something about her old house. There may be something there that's noteworthy. Something that someone else burnt in a fire. I cannot right now. You guys, didn't I say Lucille Ball keeps coming through? Well, look what just fell out. Lucille Ball. So that'll be this weekend. Lucy, I got to read you on the weekend. Oh, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Isn't that so funny? Thank you, Love. That's so funny. Lucy, I see you, girl. I'm gonna read you on the weekend. I got you, boo. You consider it done. The land was worth money as there was a mine there.
He killed us.
He killed us. Spirit said us. Cowardly. Cowardly. Spicy. Oh my gosh, remember I said flavor instead of favor at the beginning? And this says flavorful. Something about heat or fire. Spineless, afraid, fearful. And Spirit said he. Let me see if I can get different. Let me see. Grandma, which card should I do? I'm trying to choose ones with more words on them because sometimes the words help me get a bigger message with a little more detail. So I'm going to do, it's kind of a funny story, kind of a fun story cards. Oh, thank you for the gift. Robin? Is that you? Robin! Thank you. Hi. Oh my God, good morning to you. Hello, I have all my favorites in here. Thank you so much. Happy New Year. I hope you're blessed. So far, it's actually 3 kids in a trench coat. And Spirit said 14. Is actually 3 kids in a trench coat. So someone very immature or possibly it does say that they gathered other people for collaboration in doing this. So it could have, and 3 kids, it could involve 3 cousins. 3 cousins that could possibly be part of this collaboration that are cowardly, that essentially has secretly stolen $10 from you every day for the last 10 years. They described, grandma's like, we gonna describe it today. Because they stole my grandmother's abundance. They stole it by lying on some kind of documents. By lying, by changing up a will, by creating a battle here. Yeah, my grandmother's like, I can't cross over until this battle's over, until the truth comes out about what you did to her. Who is the most likely to have a live, laugh, love sign in their home? Whoever these family members are that pretend to be holier than thou when they actually like pineapple on their pizza. If you know what I mean. And they've been stealing, is an outspoken necrophiliac rights advocate. Smokes 4 packs a day. I love pineapple too, but I think this is revealing more than just liking pineapple on pizza. What story?
It's so nice to talk.
It's so nice to talk. And what story from your life comes to mind when you hear fire? That's the 3rd reference to fire. There's something about fire. Grandma, grandfather, how can I find this out? What is the significance of a fire? I'm gonna do one more of these. A house burned down. Yeah, possibly. I like talking to you too, Grandma. I love you. I'm glad you're here with us. Please tell me more. Help me help you. Who would knock someone over while Black Friday shopping? Describe a time luck was on your side. Yeah, so this is something, because I also have burnout and perfectionism. So there's some kind of plan that was blind. Something they were, well, we already know that they were blind to the fact that...
My name is Betty.
Betty. I have James and Betty. We already know that, and this says Black Friday. Black. There's something that they thought was foolproof. There's some kind of plan that they never thought in a million years would ever be known or unraveled. They're experiencing burnout now because there's something that they did, and they gathered people to collaborate on this plan of taking my grandmother's wealth, and they thought that they were lucky, but there's something that they didn't account for that is creating some kind of break in the plan. It does sound like someone I know, but the only thing with reading energy is that well, it's duality, right? So there's a good and a bad. 10 10 10 10 10 10. So there's two things. Once the energy is
Oblivion.
once the energy is red, even though I have no physical proof or evidence right now in this moment, and I'm just reading energy, and it could be about anyone, and it could match lots of people's stories, including whatever could be related to my own family dynamic. Once it's read and it's said out loud,
Attack.
I have observed that that is a form of spiritual defense. And what it does, like if you notice, anyone who watches readings that are trying to ascertain from a higher perspective things that may have happened that to us that we aren't exactly sure who, what, when, where. When the reader reveals the energy, even if it's not myself, even if it's not myself, what it does is it, by revealing the truth or shedding the light on something that's unseen in the dark, it puts it out into the open. And when a lot of people watch it, we're a collective consciousness. We're on a grid of consciousness, and so we all share the consciousness. So when many of us watch it, it unveils a moment where it starts putting things into action for someone to have a revelation, and then that person starts to question the person that's in question, and then they start investigating, they start looking and thinking about things, and this domino effect happens. And even though it's sometimes takes a little bit, and that's why God named me patience, even though it takes a little bit for all the pieces, because everything has to unfold in the physical plane in a different way than it does in the astral plane, confirmation. So when we talk about all these things over and over again, what we're doing is we're building a virtual building block of information in the astral realm. So when it comes down into manifesting and into physicality, the dominoes and the pieces can all come together the way they need to unfold naturally for something to happen, for justice. And then, investigator will start to question that person when they said that the person died this way, and now because we talked about it so much that, you know what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense to you guys. I hope that makes sense to you. We set that timeline as yes, Phoenician. Yes, thank you, Randy. Speaking it into the universe to reveal all shadows. Yes, you guys get me. Yes, Lake Superior. You guys get me. I wish I had one of those. Those cool guys on Ghost Adventures have that. Yes, and so this is like a way, God's like, well, if you guys aren't going to, if you guys are going to keep continuing to be cowards and not be honest with yourselves about, the cards that you're playing and the dominoes you set up, then God always finds a way. Okay? God always finds a way. GMA was stolen from and treated bad before death, and there is nefarious reasons. Oh, Holly. She put whiskey in her coffee. Well, honestly, I'm allergic to alcohol, so I don't drink. I never have, and I never will. Okay? Are you using apples to apples cards? I am. Well, I was. I'm not now. Why would you be a better detective than everyone here?
What's your name?
Patience! Spirit just said, what's your name? Patience! Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Answering person who wanted to know what's going on here. Oh my gosh, that's so funny, you guys. I love you, Spirit. Why would you be a better detective than everyone else? Because you're psychic. Hey, Scovie. Scovey, it's funny you're here. You always say, hey, cousin, and this situation may involve 3 cousins. Already told all their loved ones goodbye. Literally drenched in Axe body spray. And that's on top of Black Friday. I'm getting this nudge to look up. What is the occult symbolism of Black Friday? Oh, wait a second. What is the occult symbolism of Why won't it let me say it? It won't let me say it. What is the occult symbolism of Black Friday? A ritual of consumerist excess representing greed, materialism, and societal fall from gratitude.
Vanished.
The black itself historically relates to chaos. But spiritually it signifies a descent into materialism. A trance-like frenzy of pagan rituals. Hey Jared, is this psychic channel, like, what did I just stumble into? Well, thanks for being here, for one. Psychic development, spiritual development. Yes. Oh my God, I love you guys. I'm doing an energy experiment for psychic development with you guys to try to connect with my grandmother who passed under mysterious circumstances. So I'm using this platform to try to figure out, or be a psychic detective for what may have happened to her. Black is also on banking as a positive balance. Interesting. So there is something about pagan rituals. Grandma, are you saying that if you could steal one thing without consequence, what would it be? This just fell out. Tell us about a time you realized you were turning into one of your parents.
Black Death.
Black Death. And I was just reading. There's so many messages coming through. Grandma, grandfather, are you saying that someone in our family utilizes pagan rituals? Grandma, are you saying that one or more of your children use black magic?
Lily.
Grandma, are you saying that your children or some of your children use black magic pagan rituals? Are you saying that they use black magic to steal your abundance? Is that why they thought it was foolproof and that no one would find out about it? Yes. Are you saying they may have... Ooh, my throat shakalaka. Are you saying they may have performed energy manipulation on many people who collaborated? Yes. Are you saying that they used energy manipulation on documentations? You sneaky little devils.
Yes, over here.
What's the most memorable scandal from your hometown? And Spirit just said, yes, over here. Black Death. I also have already told all their loved ones goodbye because members of this family utilized black magic rituals they learned in whatever order they're in, some kind of KKK order, to unalive my grandmother for her will and testament. Man. So one of them may be scared because they're gonna die. The only witness to the most terrible crime you've ever committed. Grandma's mixed in with the clan? Oh my gosh. Well, the funny about that is it says, if they're supposed to be the master race, why do they keep misspelling clan? Go left, Spirit says. Okay, Spirit wants me to get some cards to my left. Oh, Grandma. No wonder she's earthbound. She's like, I can't leave. I can't leave until what they did to me is out in the open. My grandmother needed me to do this for her. Mind games, gaslighting, testing you, analyzing you, emotionally unavailable. Pop up. These family members may have a desire to pop up, or they popped up on my grandmother, surprisingly. Yeah. They knew that me and her shared a bond together.
You can trust us.
You can trust us. Yeah, they were like, they knew that me and my grandmother had a special bond that nobody else had. I was the only person that told her to go be happy, to go get married, to go live your own life. Nobody else told her to do that. They all expected her to keep paying and keep giving them money.
Are you hearing me?
I am, Grandma. So they knew that to not let Grandma talk to me, because if Grandma would have told me what they were saying to her, I would have known right away that it was mind games, and I would have told her to live with me. That's why they isolated her. Spiritual attack. Spiritual attack. Spiritual warfare that they were not guilty for. They thought it would be the resolution to some kind of conflict that they were having, because they didn't want to look at their broken mirrors, the fact that they have addictions, the fact that they have triggers and turmoil and things that they don't want to look at, that they're childish, unemployed, sick and tired. You know, everyone in my family also gave me the cold shoulder as well, trying to make me feel like I'm the one with a problem, when I had bad feelings about all of them, and I told them that too. Y'all give me the heebie-jeebies. There's something off about all of you. That's why you don't talk to me, because I'll tell you right out that y'all are karmics. Got a family full of karmics. And I didn't trust any of them. And anything that comes out of their mouth sounds like bullshit.
No, it's not.
Yeah, and they're always so convinced of their own mind games, as if they're some kind of masters of deception. Well, I see right through that shit. And that's why they had to isolate Grandma from me, because I would have seen right away. And I wouldn't have allowed this to happen. Absolutely not. Fighting. They're fighting now. Yeah, I have the card right here. Burnout. They're all fighting with each other because Because it's being revealed what they did for money, to get a paycheck, to keep getting the checks that my grandmother was receiving. And that, I don't know, not I don't know, I never read the will. Who would have been receiving the money if they didn't do this? Not them. Not them. There's a misspelled name on something. Clan reference. Oh, Holly, I really like your angle on things. Your spirit knows, follow your gut, where your spirit resides. Not too surprised. Elderly and disabled are the first to get preyed upon. Absolutely. I'm not sure where her last known location was. I think it was in Florida. It was in Florida, but because I'm not in contact with any of them, I just can't get a answer. But you know what? Grandma, what is your suggestion for the movement forward? Divine timing. Don't worry about it. 1313 1111. There's nothing that I need to do other than just reveal what needs to be revealed. Tell me about what energy they're in right now. Look, spirit got you. Spirit got you. Divine union. You know, oh, yes. Just focus on myself. Don't worry about what I can't control. Spirit's got it from here. My true role in this was just to get myself to a place of development to be able to reveal what's hidden. That's all I have to do. Divine timing is at play because someone was in their ego and they have egg on their face because everything backfired. Everything's backfiring. They thought, or this group thought, or whoever we're here. I love you. Grandma and Grandpa are here. Whoever initiated this plan based off of black magic pagan rituals, thinking that it was a foolproof plan that would never ever be revealed, was a fool. You're an absolute fool. You don't know anything about energy. You're in your ego and you got egg on your face. The fact that you know what doesn't make sense to me is unhealed people who use magic will believe in magic, but they won't believe in God. I don't understand. I don't understand that. How can you believe in magic and you'll do rituals and you'll do all these weird dancey hops around the fire, but you won't believe in love and you won't believe in God? Like, I don't fucking get it. I don't get it. Scared to believe in God. Absolutely. Yeah, because if God exists, then that means you got to deal with the consequences. But it's almost like this game of refusing to believe there's any consequences to their actions and believing that they're truly untouchable or something, but yet have to use magic. It just makes no sense. It makes no sense. God is scarier to them, absolutely. You can look up people in public info to check background police. I did already. And what I will say is that under each of my family members' names, I can tell there's some kind of scam or some kind of something going on, because some kind of like fraud, because there's so many different names under each name, including my grandmother's. And so I've done a lot of things to try to like gain intel on a physical level. But honestly, I just don't feel that there's anything that I can do, because whatever's been done needs to be done by spirit. You know, people are creative. They're getting real creative. Honestly, I believe in love and God and pagan religion, but I didn't like black magic. the rock shaman. So it says you're protected. It says that I'm protected, that I'm being guided by signs.
My throat.
My throat chakra is activated. But I want to know what's going on with them now. What do they think is happening? Because it says everything backfired and feeling foolish got caught. So they're definitely in some kind of cycle right now of burnout, because the thing that we're learning with magic is that if you want it to work, you have to keep on doing it. And the thing that makes it work is your own energy. It's being propelled by your own energy when you manifest things in that way. And you get really excited, and people get really excited because it works. And it starts off really small. It starts off with an abundance spell, or a good luck spell, or whatever, protection spell. It starts off that way. And then people who are unhealed, who refuse to do the work, who have addictions, who are childish, who are still have wounds they haven't healed yet, will think it's a creative outlet in order to attain abundance and to trick people and to get their way, to control the outcome. And it works. And it worked for a long time. There's something about it working for a long time. But what they didn't know is that Grandma gave her spiritual abilities to me. She passed them down to me because I was pure of heart, and her and God knew that I wouldn't abuse them, and that I would use them like a detective and use my creativity and my curiosity to use them to figure out what happened. Okay? Invoke. And so the thing about magic is that when you use it, you're using your own energy field, and eventually it gets to a point where you run out of energy. And so then you have to start sacrificing bigger things. And if you don't, then bad things happen to you. And then you start to wonder why everything's falling apart. And it's because you don't have the energy to sustain the level of energy you need in order for that manifestation to keep going. It needs to have fuel, because it's not backed by divine energy. It's black. It's backed by black. Back to black. AC/DC. This is why evil is allowed in the world. Yes, we did a reading with Bon Scott that revealed a revelation to us about the apple. And that part of what is encompassed symbolically in the apple is knowledge. And that means knowledge of good and bad. And when we receive knowledge or encounter knowledge about occult things, about energy manipulation, are you going to eat the low-hanging fruit? Are you going to choose to try that, to do that? If you are, then you're going to have to suffer the consequences of that, because that's how energy works. If you're using energy manipulation to manipulate things in your favor, but you're not matching the timeline you're on for that abundance, you're not matching it energetically through your heart space, through healing, then you have to give energy to that thing in order for it to be sustainable, for it to sustain it. And they do that by the rituals, and by using, animals and human sacrifices, because what they're actually doing is sacrificing the energy of that living thing to go towards the thing that they want to keep going. That's how it works. Like on a scientific level, like, so you can grasp like what it is and how it's working. And it's really harnessing your electromagnetic field in a very physical, masculine way, trying to control the outcome of things that don't fit the timeline you're on. If you want to be abundant, and you want to have abundant things, and you want to match that, then you have to be that in your heart space. You have to be in Christ consciousness to match that, for it to have a sustainable energetic flow that doesn't need a spark outside of itself to contain, to keep it going. God could use them as an apostle later. This is why we don't judge others' process. Absolutely. I always said to my husband when he was before his sobriety, that it's your journey. It's your journey. I accept you where you're at now, and I support you on your journey. You have to choose.
I had an injury.
I can't make you want to be sober. You have to choose that. And if it takes for you getting to rock bottom, to making all the mistakes, to hurting all the people, to creating such a mess that finally it blows up in your face, if that's what it takes, that's part of your journey. And you have to experience that for you to not do it again, or for you to choose to not do it in this life or the next. And I hope that, and on that note, I'll end it here, since I know what happened now. I don't need to know the dirty details, as that would be too much for me right now. But I hope that this situation helps these family members realize that this isn't the way. I hope that they can break the karmic cycle that they've put themselves in. You're fired up. Yeah. This is the apple of Eden, and no, it's not itonic, it's intentional. Ironic. Is that brightest blessings? Oh, thank you so much for being here. This was a really personal one, but I couldn't have had such an open, clear read without your guys' love and support. So thank you so much for always being here with me. Thank you.
Archfiend.
I really appreciate all the love and support we get. You guys show up for me time and time again, more than my own family ever has, in such a spiritual and emotional way. And
Mr.
I'm not
Baker.
talking about material, So I love you so much, and I love you, Grandma. I hope that this helps release you. You know what? Let me do a soul card, just to kind of like understand the lesson that Grandma has learned through this experience, and that'll be the thing that helps her move on, or to be able to move on.
This was my home.
This was my home. Something about her home. They may have burned down her home, or they may have burned the evidence to reveal what her true will and testament said. Inner flame. I just said burn. Inner flame. This is a divine revelation. Yes, absolutely. Thanks for helping me working on my fam. My ducklings love you too. Oh, I love you guys so much. You guys are my soul family for sure. Ignite your inner flame and let it fuel your journey, guiding you to fulfill your soul's vision.
Jeffrey.
Grandma, passion, drive, and soul awakening. My grandma knew. She knew. She had the gift. She prayed every single day. I heard her pray every single day. She didn't miss a day. I know she was connected, and she might not have shared it with me or felt like she could, and I'm sorry for that. Do you feel you're getting stronger? I do. I absolutely do. I do. But one thing I am observing when it comes to psychic abilities is that it's not the way that they show it in the movies, and not everyone has the same gift. And the way that it is, the way that it is for you might look psychotic to everyone else outside of you. But if it works for you, it's a very unique signature and pattern for you to discern. And so maybe what my grandma is telling me right now is that I have my own way of interpreting the information, and that she knew that her children, her own children, were not to be trusted. And it was really hard for her to accept that and to accept it. And that's where she went wrong, by believing that for an instance that one of her children actually cared about her in that way and wanted to take care of her and not just care about her money. And she realizes that now, that, you know, she should have followed that. But she's giving me my own inner flame, and she's helping me have drive and passion to reawaken it, to discover it, to play with it with curiosity, fun. Yes, family dynamics. But I am the generational curse breaker. I'm the only one in my family that didn't resort or need or choose this path. And so I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful to her to have passed on those special spiritual abilities to me, and I promise to develop them with responsibility. I promise to do that. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. As always, it is my honor to understand and to seek clarity and to seek all the things that were unsaid. I love you so much. You're awesome too. We'll be doing Lucille Ball this weekend for sure. Communication. Lucille is feisty. She is feisty. She's been coming through a lot. She's been saying ball, and she just said Lucille. And I got the Lucille card, Lucille Ball. So if you guys want to stay tuned for that, we post every weekend. We go on live every Saturday and Sunday at 6 a.m. And so we'll be doing Lucille Ball for sure as one of them. So it was nice to meet you too. Thank you, M Love. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you guys. I'll see you soon. And I send my love. Love you guys. Bye.